Okay, let's go.
Hey, it says record. Except I moved it when I hit it. Okay.
Yes, the red light's on, so all is well.
I did my job.
We'd like to call to order the regular board meeting for the Village of Hainesville on Tuesday, May 24th, 2022 at 6:32 p.m. Please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Jerry Daly.
Here.
Trustees Christian Olive.
Here.
Wally Crease.
Here.
Mary Cole.
Here.
Jack Shinawa.
Here.
Georgianne and George Duberstein. Want to
Join electronically.
thank you.
Okay, we have a quorum. I need a motion to allow the Dubersteins to join us electronically.
So
Okay, discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Christian Olive.
Here.
No. This is
Wally Crease. Mary Cole. And Jack Shinawa.
here.
Motion carried.
It's the food trucks. They got to me.
Remember, I do have a mute button for that.
It's just thinking that.
Neither George nor Georgianne is available.
I'll try and cell phone if this doesn't work. You guys just missed your phone call. We can't let you in now.
Okay,
All right. Are you both on?
George is going to be on in a second. Thank you for doing this.
That's okay. $5. A piece.
Put it on our bill. I'm on now.
Okay, very good. I need a motion to approve the agenda. So move.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustees George Duberstein.
Yeah, before we do that, don't you have to take our attendance?
No, we've already covered that.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, aye.
Christian Olive.
Aye.
Wally Crease.
Aye.
Mary Cole.
Aye.
Jack Shinawa.
Aye.
And Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
Motion carried.
No one here for public comments. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Trustees George Duberstein.
Aye.
Christian Olive.
Aye.
Wally Crease.
Aye.
Mary Cole.
Aye.
Jack Shinawa.
Aye.
And Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Can you guys hear us okay?
Yes.
Okay. Reports and discussion. Finance, Mary.
Okay, so Kelly right now is working on an IMRF audit. It's an in-depth audit that hasn't been done in a few years. Our regular audit is scheduled the first 2 weeks, second and third week of August. When we get closer, she'll have a few more exact dates of when they'll be in. We have received the water and sewer tap fees for Firestone hookup, so that project can get connected to the village now. And the appropriation ordinance and estimate of revenue documents were sent to the county for recording, so that task is completed. And then she is also finishing up the fiscal year end account adjustments. And once that's done, then the draft April financials will be ready for the board.
All right, any mail?
I just had a trouble hearing. Did you say there was some kind of another audit besides our usual one?
She mentioned IMRF, so that's the retirement fund.
Right.
Okay, so that's going on now, and what Mary said is that hasn't happened in a number of
In a
years.
while.
Okay?
Okay.
Public Works?
Yeah, met with Tim a couple of weeks ago, and he just reviewed what he was doing for the year. Basically, he's going to try and play catch up again from last year about the sidewalks and replacing them, because he didn't get to a lot of them last year because of the workers shortage we had. He's got a pretty good crew, he says, this year, and that he says he should be getting pretty much all the sidewalks. The ones that were ID from last year, he's going to do this year, and then he's going to reevaluate which ones need to be done, plus curb work. Tree removal, he says it's going to be determined with Dave Schultz. They haven't figured out exactly which ones, where, and what, but they're also researching the tree replacements and the cost, because he was thinking that it might be cheaper for us to do it versus acre or whatever. And Dave Schultz has been finding a new source for the tree purchases. So, and like I said, he's got 4 guys right now on the crew, or 3 guys, and the 4th one will start as far as summer help, and 1 more starting in tomorrow. Yeah. So, and he submitted his report to everyone. So if you have any questions, you can call him, and that's about it.
Okay. Georgianne, any questions on that?
No.
No. Okay. Community events, we're going to start with Chris.
So I just want to bring up the food trucks. The last 2 weeks have been amazing. The first week we had a little bit of a difficulty but got past it. But this past week we had,
I'm having trouble hearing her.
She's going to the microphone now.
okay, so last week we had a phenomenal turnout. According to the savory truck we ended up having about 150 to 200 orders / people here. The parking lot was extremely full, and we had people lined up past the front door here. Kathy, myself, and Jack had a little discussion, and we decided we're going to open up in September. I have all but 1 Thursday booked for September for food trucks. The one that was here this past Thursday made a comment, don't you have any other days earlier in all of that, like in June, July, or August? And so I booked him 2 Thursdays in September, and I'm going to move one of the food trucks from June and bring him in June. So he had a turnout that he ran out of food, and he only ran out of food once before. This was the 2nd time. And he was out of the city of Chicago. The other thing that I wanted to bring up was the fact that when I was on Facebook yesterday morning, I received a message from a gentleman named Nick Borowitz, and he is the content writer / digital strategy guy at the Visit Lake County, the travel bureau for here in Lake County. So he is adding the food truck event happening in their blog and all of that. So he's putting Hainesville on their summer activities to come out and check out our food trucks on Thursdays. So this is going a little bit further than I half expected it to go.
I asked Kathy to look into the possibility of putting the various menus on our website calendar. So when you hit the date, if we don't know if it's possible.
I didn't.
Did it?
Yes, I did.
And did it pop up clearly?
Yeah, it doesn't show highlighted, but if you click on here, it shows up.
Okay, so anybody clicks on the calendar and we'll put that out in an announcement somehow.
I just did one. I did this next Thursday.
Slacker.
I know.
Okay, so congratulations, Kathy and Chris, good work.
I'd like to give a shout out to Kathy. She and I have been working very well together on this.
That's a surprise.
And I've taught her a lot of things that I probably didn't tell her. And Jack has been giving me advice as well. And then I've had people in the community reach out to me asking me if I needed any assistance with anything, which was really nice and helpful. And then Tim, for all of his hard work of putting the signs out weekly, and now bringing in the cones to block off traffic from coming through.
Another thought occurred to me, if I can remember. Does it make any sense for us to put a link to the Facebook, your Facebook page on our website?
That wouldn't be a bad idea. The Facebook page right now currently has over 400 members on the Hainesville food truck page. So and it's growing. I looked at it like Friday of last week, and when I logged in Monday to take a look, we had 85 new members.
Excellent.
And as of today, we had another additional 13 members.
Watch meeting nights and join in there.
So I've actually had people come up to me asking me who I could talk to about such and such a problem. And I highly recommended that they come to a board meeting and give us their troubles, give the board and the mayor
Recommend, tell
trouble.
them to raise legs meeting.
But yeah, there have been concerns, so I've been telling them to just come to a board meeting and let us know.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Can I add
Chris,
something?
Kathy?
This was gonna be in my report, but it's very exciting to be present at this function, because residents come up and they talk to you, I've emailed you, and it's just to hear the residents so excited
Yeah.
about this, that it's such a good, warm, fuzzy feeling.
And Jack and I have actually gone to other food truck events throughout the different areas. We were just at English Meadows on Saturday, and they had a taco truck there, but we really went for the cotton candy from Kiki's, but, and they'll be back here on Thursday, Kiki's, so he needs his cotton candy fix, so. But it's turning out really good, really good.
And I think I've worked with the health department, they've been very helpful, and I talked to my sister who's out in Cape Cod, and she said to me, I was telling her this, and she said to me, you need to call the papers, because the village isn't making any money off of this. We're doing it for the community, so I did leave a message for the Daily Herald today, so I'll see if they call me back. But it's just been fun working.
Part of my negative thoughts, but are we gonna get too big too fast, and our two trucks gonna run out of food, and maybe our residents aren't the ones that benefit from it?
That's a great question, but we won't know until that moment
Yeah.
comes, right?
Yeah.
We can kind of foresee, we pretty much double between the first Thursday and this Thursday. And if this Thursday comes, well, it's going to be raining, but if we notice that every week we're getting bigger and bigger, we may have to evaluate what we're going to do.
All right.
So I also want to just say I confirmed with George, he's having the shredding event on the 23rd of July, and I actually booked a food truck to be at that event as well, to bring more people out.
We've created a monster.
I'm telling you, I'm going to start asking for full-time employment for food truck purposes.
We have a utility clerk position. I don't know if
I'm sorry, it doesn't pay enough.
I don't know if you're qualified. All right, thank you, ladies. George?
I have a question. So I thought we were charging $50 for each of the food trucks. Is that not the case?
That is not the case. We originally talked about doing 25 per truck, but in an effort to get this started, we waived those fees for this first year, and we've received nothing but compliments from the various trucks that have signed up. So we are doing this gratis, and it's more for the benefit of the community than the benefit of our coffers.
And the trucks are, Georgianne, the trucks are extremely happy that they are not being charged. There are places that they're going that not only are they being charged by the village to be there, person that's setting them up is charging them a fee to come out for like a setup fee and to advertise them and all that stuff. And, you know, they're just raking these guys over the coals, especially with the way the prices are going up on everything. So, I mean, it's a benefit for these trucks, and they're more than happy to come out and serve us at no charge.
One of the trucks, I think it was last week, maybe the first week, was actually from the Rockford area.
That was J&C Ice Cream. They're from out of Rockford.
Yeah. So we'll ride it out and see how it goes this year, and if we want to relook at the program next year, we'll think about it then. Okay?
I think we may need to double up. They're running out of food to have more than one food truck at a time. I mean,
Yeah, we'll keep track of it. We have limited space for parking, which became evident at the last Thursday. Yeah. All right, George, you're on.
I don't have anything to report at this time.
That's good. Save your voice. How you feeling?
Not too well.
All right, well, we'll scoot through this then and let you go back to bed. All right, in that case, George, you have anything on the Great Age Club?
Not in the Great Age Club, but Linda Soto reminded me that there's a meet and greet for the members of the Lake County Regional Transportation Association that we joined. It's June 1st at Mickey Finn's from 4 to 6. It's free. There are all kinds of appetizers and other kinds of goodies. And it would be nice to have a representative from Hainesville. I can't go. We have a play downtown, assuming we're going to be well enough to go. So she asked if I would mention it because it would be nice if somebody would be able to stop by and get some free food and just chit-chat a little.
Okay. Anything else, ma'am?
So that's it.
All right, thank you, Kathy.
Okay, so I just want to go back again to the election is not going to be held here, the voting. It's at Prairie View School for Hainesville residents. Early voting is at Avon Township starting June 13th through the 25th. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturdays, 9 to 2. Website updates, our IT person, Crystal Larson, has done a fillable senior garbage rate form that was completed today. So we have our food truck forms on there, fillable, building permit, fillable, and now senior garbage reduced rate. And I want to say I celebrated my 22nd year of anniversary here Sunday, and it's been a great 22 years. Thank you. That's all.
You weasel. All right, thank you. I have a number of things for us tonight. The first, and you know this, Roseanne is leaving us on June 16th. Kathy put two paragraphs together that I'm going to read. One will go out in the newsletter, and we may put it on the website, and the other one you'll understand when I read it. For the newsletter, and again, Kathy put this together. The Village of Hainesville's mayor, trustees, and staff would like to thank Deputy Clerk Roseanne Stark for her 14 3/4 years of service. Roseanne will be retiring as of June 16th, 2022, and will be sorely missed by us all. Roseanne has worn many different hats as a deputy clerk. Most residents would know her through her working with them in processing their building permits. So to our residents that have worked with her through the years, feel free to drop her a farewell note at, and we provide her email. And then from the board and staff, Roseanne, you have been a true asset, and I'm reading this so it'll be in the minutes. You've been a true asset to the Village of Hainesville, a helpful co-worker, and a good friend to us all. You will be remembered for your ideas and improvements that you have helped the village and Village Hall move forward. It has been a privilege working with you. With our best wishes, we encourage you to enjoy this next chapter of your life. With our heartfelt congratulations on your retirement. We thank you for everything. Encourage board members to touch base with her when you get a chance, drop in and say your farewells. And Kelly, Kathy, and well, as a village, we give departing or retiring members a $100 gift card. Kelly, Kathy, and I will be taking her out to dinner and inviting. And what will probably be a tearful evening.
Can we make a plaque or something to give her to remember us by?
I'll share my opinion on that, and then I'll listen to what the board would like. I can't tell you how many plaques that we've given out or I've received over years that are sitting in my basement, just because I don't place a lot of value in them, but I'm more than willing to order one if the board wants me to. Any thoughts on that?
I agree with your sentiment, yeah.
Okay, so you guys can hear Jack and Mary both agreed with what I said. Chris is nodding her head, and Wally is fine. So,
just maybe not a plaque, but just some little token of something so that she would remember us. I don't know. I'll leave it to you.
okay. All right, Wally?
Well, I was just thinking maybe what we could do.
Creative people to come up with something.
Come up with it. And her day, you know, as far as the village, within the village. Yeah.
I could get a food truck.
What'd you say?
Chris said she could get a food truck.
I'm saying,
All right, if you come up with any ideas, get it to me in the next couple of days, and we'll see what we can do.
Mayor, what about a photo of everybody together, and then we all sign like around the picture itself and put it in a frame for her?
We can do that. We probably wouldn't be able to do it until post, because it would be the next, unless we're going to come in for a special sitting, and these, the news things are sick, it would be the next board meeting, but we could probably do that. All right, we'll do that. Did you hear that, Georgianne?
You're not really.
All right, we'll leave you out of it then. Chris suggested that we get together and take a group photo, sign it, and present it to her. So we'll aim for the next board meeting to have a photographer here for that.
Okay.
Okay? All right, thank you, Chris. Moving on. My day started at 3 o'clock this morning for no particular reason, but when I came into work, I was kind of beat, and I'm thinking, oh man, I'm not going to make it through a day. And then the phone rang. John Rucker, who works for Robinson and runs our water system, he's the one that's in the field, checking the water tank, checking the wells. He's out here every day. Jerry, we just got an alarm. The water tower is down to 30 feet. And if you think of the height of the tower being down to 30 feet, it's in the stem, and that's an emergency. So after I muttered some words that I won't repeat here for the public, I'm thinking, boy, this day is not going to get any better. He was on his way out. I sent Tim and the crew to start looking for water leaks, because that would be the one obvious answer. Robinson, Brian Christensen, who was an engineer at Robinson, who kind of taken over Greg Toss' spot while he's out, called Firestone, the new Firestone, because they have connected their new water lines and knew they were going to flush it. The contractor at Firestone informed Ryan that they were using minimal water. When Rucker got there, he found that there were 2 fire hydrants wide open, just blowing water out. Shut those, water rate started going back up until the floor. Pardon?
Where were the fire hydrants?
The new Firestone. Yeah, it was a new hookup. They were flushing lines. Tragedy overcome. Go ahead. Oh, averted, yes. So the day got somewhat better at that point. Next item is I shared an email with you a while ago about Dave Schultz's backhoe being damaged by one of our public work crew. It was was obviously inadvertent, but right now, the potential price for repair is at $27,000. Our contract with Dave clearly states that if we're using it when it breaks, we pay for it. It's at a dealer in Wakanda. If the number could go down, once they tear the engine apart, and if the block, which is the basic part of the engine, doesn't need to be repaired, that could drop. We have filed a claim with our insurance company to see if what they will cover. Right now, I don't have that answer, but that's the current situation. This morning, I contacted the number 2 candidate for the utility clerk position and asked her if she was still looking for a job, and she said yes. So we talked a little bit more, and she said she would get back to me later today with an answer, and she did, and it was no. Didn't think it would be the best move for her at that point. So tomorrow we'll put the job back out on Indeed and the other places we advertised before. I've also talked to Bob Springer from Lake County Permit. He offered some professional sites where they hire utility people from. I'll ask him to put something out. We'll go through the process again, and hopefully we can work this out. Currently, starting this Monday, Christina, who was hired for the utility clerk position, is training in both positions, because as you all know, there's value in cross-training. So she'll concentrate on Rose position. We still have Roberta from Robinson contracted through next April, so the service will still be there. Hopefully we can get somebody hired and get the training done and become a normal staff again. In the long run, there's some sunshine in this, in that if we get 2 people hired, Christina and another person hired, it will make the transition in 3 years. That was going to be myself, Kathy, and Roe retiring all at once. Now just Kathy and myself. And we'll have Kelly, Christina, and hopefully person X with experience in the office, less transition pain. So, any questions on that or thoughts?
No questions on that, but I do have a question about the water billing and stuff like that, or the water usage, I should say. Today you sent I got the report from Robinson, and there's 1.5 million gallons difference, okay?
Between billed and used.
Because of that water main break that we had from that fire hydrant that was knocked, we lost 1 million gallons. That's
Probably not the total, because we always had that 8 to 10%.
Well, I'm just looking at, because, yeah, right, and the thing is, I was looking at the usage before, which was 500,000 gallons, which is usually between 200 and 500,000 gallons is the difference. This was 1.5 million.
Then my only answer would be, from what I read in the report, is that we agree with you, we lost that much water.
Okay, well, because I'm wondering if we don't have a leak maybe somewhere else, if it was, because you said that wasn't, how would you say it? You said that when they broke the pipe, it was not that long.
What the report said was roughly 30 minutes.
That would establish, no,
Yeah.
that would drain our tank twice.
Well, I'd like to be able to say that with the next report, we'll be able to tell.
Well, not really, because
We can't, because of the flushing that took
of the
place.
flushing that took place. And so what I'm just kind of wondering,
There are no obvious signs of leaks in the town. I mean, we don't have any gutters that are constantly full. We don't have any signs of flooding.
If you lost 1 million gallons, it would show itself. I mean, you'd have a lake,
Somewhere.
or a small lake somewhere.
Yeah.
well, what I was, as I was saying, a fire hydrant losing it for 30 minutes would not drop 1 million gallons.
No, it's gonna pump out some water.
Not 1 million gallons, because like I said, that's our water tower is only 400,000 gallons. So that would be twice. And the issue that I think we had with the water tower, some of it was the recovery that we couldn't get from the second pump being out of the wellhouse phone.
Oh, today?
Yeah.
Yeah. We still have a pump that's out of service that we're waiting for the parts to arrive to replace it.
Could that 1 million gallons be like a typo? on the numbers?
No, because it reflected, they're reflected
I'm not hearing
from the
you.
usage. Okay, they're reflected from the usage.
All right, Georgiana, in a nutshell, the report I emailed to you later this afternoon, difference between gallons billed and gallons pumped. There was almost 1 million gallons difference. Part of it could be accounted for by the fire hydrant break from 2 weeks ago. Wally is asking if there might be another problem at some point that million is a lot, and a broken fire hydrant isn't going to pump that out in the 30 or 40 minutes that it was blowing water. I will talk with Robinson tomorrow, with Brian Christensen about the report to see if they have any ideas.
I thought I heard that the droppage of the water in the water tower was from the flushing at Firestone.
That'll be indicated in next month's report.
That's what caused the thing to drop
Today.
specifically.
That's what called it today, yes, and that was,
Let me ask this, since they're hooked up to our system now, can we bill them, and do we bill them for their fire hydrant?
they don't know if they're metered yet. I've got it on my list though to check that out. My guess would be no, but I will check. I'm making a note.
Be nice if we could get a meter on it soon, at this rate.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, and the other thing that might have complicated the drawdown on the tower today is that well 1 is operating on one pump. One other pump has been out of service for a while, and we're waiting for parts to fix it and replace it. Okay? Well, let's see. I told you about the utility clerk. My last item is, and I'm not going to be able to share too much because I don't know too much. Obviously, we had the fatality yesterday at the train wreck. Chief Berlini notified me in the morning afterwards, but Grays Lake Police is not investigating it. That's all falls under Metro. And as I shared in an email with you, it is not, that part of the road, South Hainesville Road, belongs to the gun club, not to the village. We have no easement going back that far. The easement that is out there belongs to Metro. So Mr. Puma verified that. However, he did say we still could get sued because people can sue anybody.
Sure.
And,
See what sticks.
So, and if that comes up, somebody sues us, I'll contact him and our insurance agent, and we'll deal with it appropriately.
So when did this happen at the South Hainesville Road?
South Hainesville Road, just, the ones you cross to go back to the Civil War event, George, okay?
What you talking about?
Yes, that's what we're talking about. From the tracks north towards Russo, probably 30 yards or so, belongs to the gun club. That road is not ours. So
I
therefore,
don't understand that, but is that where the accident happened?
yes, sir, it is.
And what actually happened? Somebody was hit by the train or?
No, a semi-truck, a gravel truck was on the tracks, got hit by the train. The driver died, and one person on the train was injured, but not life-threatening injuries. This happened at 7 o'clock yesterday morning.
Wow. Never a dull moment, right?
Excuse me?
Never a dull moment.
Not beautiful downtown Hainesville. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the status on this new route that we're working on or planning or doing or whatever?
This year will be spent drawing up the plans, the engineering plans, and applying for the construction calendar.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
One question. I thought I read somewhere in the report about another restaurant of interest in this community.
Yes.
Can you enlighten us any further on that?
The owners of the red brick building west of Mobile, and it used to be Ingrid's Garden, is a gentleman who used to own the Mobile, and he and his partners are discussing the possibility of putting a restaurant in there with, their preference would be also with gaming. He is aware of the other restaurant that we've talked about before, but I've heard nothing back from them. We have no hard proposal. It's just something they're thinking about.
And this restaurant would go in that little space where the garden was to begin with?
Well,
What's the name of the thing?
it would be in the first floor of the red brick building, possibly with an outdoor service behind. There's a big storage, there's a storage barn out back of fair size. They said they would take that down. But again, it's not even a firm concept yet, George.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions before we move on? All right, I need a motion to accept the household lien proposal not to exceed 27.5 to update the comprehensive plan. So,
Second.
okay, we have a motion and a second and discussion. Georgianne, you're on. George.
I'll wait, let somebody else do it first, but I have a number of questions.
Well, any questions from the board here? All right, go ahead, George.
Okay, this is an hourly rate. It could conceivably wind up, depending on how much time they spend with it, being less than 27.5.
You said less or more?
Less.
It could,
Okay.
because the price in the motion is not to exceed.
Yeah, I understand. It mentions throughout the proposal, consulting with the staff. I don't know, or I don't see anything that says consulting with the board.
Well, I told them to leave you guys out because it's not worthwhile.
Right.
Yeah, no, it would include the board. Obviously, the board's going to approve it all.
Okay. Let's see. It talks about the planning commission being utilized. I assume that's the same thing as the board in a different hat?
It is, just like it always has been.
Yeah, okay. I didn't see any specific guidance or direction. It's almost like, excuse me, the tail wagging the dog.
All right, let's see if I can address that. When we did this first plan in 2010, Rolf Campbell, the consultants at that time, met with folks, met with the board, and came up with recommendations that had to be discussed with and worked through the board. It would be my understanding that that would be the same approach. What we're looking to do is an update, and of course, well, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, well, when you say update, I assume there's got to be some parameters, some ballpark in which they're operating, other than leaving it to them to come up with ideas. Excuse me.
Kind of chokes you up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, George, I think what the process would be, and feel free, board, to disagree with me, is that they would make recommendations and then we react to them and accept them, reject them, refine. I don't think they won't be controlling the end product. That falls to us.
Can I
this is what we're gonna charge per hour wise. Right? I mean, that's what the contract is saying. It's saying it shouldn't exceed 27. So in other words, if we give them, say, hey, let's just look at the architecture, and that's it, and what's it gonna cost? You know, I mean, we still have to agree that we're gonna have them look at and change it, whatever we want. That's what I'm trying to say.
Essentially, and correct me if I'm wrong, Wally, essentially what I'm hearing from Wally, George and Georgianne, is that we will control what they do and what they don't do.
Right.
If we tell them, don't redo the demographics because the maps are generally accurate, then they don't do that. I did reread it this afternoon and found one thing interesting, is that one of the recommendations in 2010 was that we review and redo our zoning ordinances. We've done that. So I truly believe, and will oversee it this way if you guys give me the go, that we will control what gets done and what doesn't get done. I don't totally disagree with you, Georgianne, that the look is what needs to certainly be reworked.
I'm just trying to I'm trying to think how to put it, to limit the changes, limit the work that Hainesville is going to do for us. I think spending $27,000 when most of it is going to be boilerplate that stays the same. I think we just look at it ourselves and say Section A is fine, Section B is fine, so on and so forth. And all we want you to do is look at this 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, and come up with something for that. That's what I'm suggesting, rather than just starting with a blank sheet of paper for them and going from there. I just think we need to limit the scope of what they need to do and limit the cost as well.
Okay. Any other comments? George, Georgianne?
I don't know, unless, given the fact that it would help to have them do some initial work to begin with, being that it's on an hourly basis, we can limit maybe going forward the amount of work that they're going to do.
Okay. One of the things they recommend is involving the public. Should we include that?
I say yes.
I think we're opening a can of worms.
No,
I think we should, once we get the thing put together, we can put it out for their perusal.
So then I play Putin and just say this is what we're going to do? I didn't mean to choke you up on that one. I mean, we are supposed to represent the residents.
correct.
No, I don't have any objection to letting the community voice their opinions to the, I mean, you're right, this is a democracy. We're here to serve the interests of the community. So we really need to get some input from them, something they're interested, to see what they want this community to be and to look like. They're living here.
Based on the involvement of our community in the past and a wide variety of things, unless we have this presentation during the night of a food truck, we may not have a lot of people, but they do have a right to be involved.
I was just
Chris?
gonna say that if I got a food truck here, we'd probably get plenty of the community to come out on that.
All right.
We can discuss this on Thursday nights with the communities and try to get people involved.
Correct.
Sure.
I mean, no offense to anybody here, but I don't think that we should be making the decision for the entire community without the community's input.
Agreed.
Okay. All right.
Wouldn't you think that you need to give them some
Hang on, Georgianne. Hang on, Georgianne.
Wouldn't you think that we should give them some kind of input of what we're thinking of, which direction we need to go, so that they can make that determination, and not have them come in here blind and say, this is what I want to do, and also we've got 85 different opinions.
I get what you're saying,
It's their community, Georgianne. All right, okay. Any other new comments? All right, we have a motion and we have a second on approval of the contract. How we apply that, if it passes, what we demand of House Hill can be worked out to how we want to approach it. Okay, so with that,
And if we deny, if we say nay, what happens then?
Wally asked if we say nay here, what would be next? My thought would be that we have John Househill attend the next meeting and he can talk to us about what he thinks the process could be. We can have our input with him.
I would suggest that before we have the meeting with John Househill, that we each get a copy of the thing and read it and get an idea in our mind of what is,
You don't have-
and what needs to be changed.
You don't have your copy at home?
I'm not aware of where it is.
No. Okay.
Can
That's
we
all right.
table this?
Yeah, I think we have a copy here.
Somewhere.
I'll find it.
Yes, to answer your question, we can table. But let's see, procedure.
Well, so first let's vote, because we have a first and a second. And so if it's a nay, then well, it's up to, wait. it's
Hang on,
up-
Georgianne.
It's up to Wally and Chris. If they want to pull back their motions, we could table it.
But table it to what end?
Till we get housing being in to talk about
Well,
And Tuesday is here.
I asked Jack, table it to what end, and his response was, so we can get House Hill in here and have a discussion with him. So,
I would go for that.
well, we're not there yet. The procedure would be for Wally and Chris to revoke their first and second.
I revoke my motion.
And I revoke my second.
All right, so we have no motion or second. Do we have a motion to table this discussion?
So
We got,
Okay.
I have Jack with a motion and a second.
second.
Georgianne,
Jack is the first.
Jack is the first.
Okay.
Jack's number one.
it. I think I'm on the wrong thing.
Yep.
I'm going
Yes.
To table.
To table. All right, roll call.
Trustees George Duberstein,
Aye.
Chris Chanowith,
Aye.
Wally Crease,
Aye.
Mary Koval,
Aye.
Jack Chanowith,
Aye.
and Georgine Duberstein.
Aye.
Motion carried. That it's tabled.
Table. All right, I'll contact John Househill in the next couple of days and arrange for him to come to the June meeting. All right?
Can we make sure that everybody has a copy so that they can read it ahead of time?
Only if we fine you for losing your original. Yes, we will reprint it and give it to everybody.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think anybody else was, or maybe Wally was the only other one that was on the board at the time that we did it.
No, we'll get it taken care of.
What was that?
All right.
Thank you.
We have a motion, need a motion to accept National Power Rod closed circuit TV inspection of sewers not to exceed $125,000.
So moved.
George,
Second.
and second of Jack. Roll call. George and Jack.
Discussion.
Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees George Duberstein,
Aye.
Chris Chanowith,
Aye.
Wally Crease,
Aye.
Mary Koval,
Aye.
Jack Chanowith,
Aye.
Georgine Duberstein.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's closed at 7:25.
Who first it?
Someone?
Chris. And Georgine second.
Second. Okay. All right, well done then. Thanks, George and Georgianne. Feel better.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for letting us come in this way.
No
Bye,
problem.
everybody.
All right, bye-bye.
Aye.
Okay. talked to Public Works today about getting that cut, and I'm surprised that it hasn't been